Hey scholars, it's Mrs. Jasnica, and we're back with another Draw With Me challenge. This week we're going to be drawing a seascape together. What you'll need for this project is a paper, a pencil, and something to color with like markers, crayons, or colored pencils. Alright, let's go back to the art room. Hey kindergarten through second grade, we're going to be drawing a seascape together. Now what that means is that we're going to be drawing a picture of the sea. In our picture, we're going to have boats and water, and we'll be able to see the sky too. So to begin, like always, we're going to make sure that we have our paper in the correct position. We want our paper horizontally, like this, not like this. Now that we have our paper sideways, we are going to begin. The first thing we're going to do is draw what's in front. So that's going to be the biggest thing that we see. We're going to draw some water at the bottom and a boat. Let's go ahead and begin. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to draw a wavy line at the bottom of the paper. So down here, I'm going to make a line that goes from this side of the paper all the way to this side. And we want it to look like water. So there's two ways that you can do this. Before I do it on the front of my paper, let me show you on the back. You can choose if you want to make U shapes like this. U, 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 U. Those are U-shape waves. Or if you want to make them like this. Here is a wavy line. This still looks like water. So here we're just going up and down, up and down. So it kind of looks like an N and a U put together. N, U, N, U. This way is a little more difficult, but it looks more like water. So again, to do this type of wave, we have to make the letter U, but flattened looking. So kind of like, looks kind of like a happy face actually. And when you stick them together, they look like waves. So you can do it like this or like this. Let's go back to the front of our paper so that we can do it together. At the bottom of my paper, not the middle, the bottom, I'm going to make my waves. So I'm going to go like this, and like this, and like this. And I'm going to do this until I get all the way to the other side. Now it doesn't have to be perfect, and you can make your waves as big or as small as you want. There we go. Now we're gonna put a boat on top of the water. So I'm gonna put my boat on this side, but you can also put it over here. I'm going to make a line above the water. This is gonna be part of my boat, and I'm just gonna put a line. So we want to make it pretty straight, but it doesn't have to be perfect. And you can see here's the water and here's my line. So there's space between the water and the line. Now if there's not a lot of space between your water and the line, that's okay. So you can make your line down here if you want. In fact, I think I'm going to move mine down just a little. It doesn't have to be exactly like Miss Jasnica's line. So I'm going to move it down just a little. And actually, I'm going to turn my paper. I'm going to put my line right here. So now it's closer to the water, but it's still above the water. Now, I'm going to add a line going from this corner down to the water, and another line from this corner going down to the water. And I'm going to make them go in a little, so they're diagonal, like that. And I'm gonna do the same thing over here. If you make your line go straight down, that's okay. Nothing wrong with that. Mine is going to be a little bit diagonal, but you can make yours straight down if you want. Now we gotta make the top of the boat. This is like the wooden part of the boat, the part that floats on top of the water. But now we have to make the top part. So the way we're going to do this is we're gonna make a big triangle coming from the sides here. So I'm going to make a dot actually right up here to let me know that this is where the point of my triangle is going to be. And I'm gonna take this dot and drag a line all the way to the corner of my boat. And then again, from this dot, I'm gonna go down to the corner of my boat. So let's do that together. From here, I'm gonna go down, down, down until I hit the corner of my boat. I'm gonna go back up to the dot and I'm gonna drag a line to the corner of my boat. Let me fix that a little. There we go. Okay, and you can actually leave it like that if you want, but I'm gonna add one more detail. I'm gonna make a line going from here, so from the dot again, straight down. So it looks like there's two pieces of the top of the boat. There we go. Now it looks like a boat. So now we have to add more details. I'm gonna put another line of waves just like we did down here, but behind this boat. So the way we're going to do that is just like we did here. We're gonna make another line, but this time it's gonna go behind here, okay? So you can start from this side or this side. Doesn't matter to me. I'm gonna start on this side. And I'm gonna make wavy lines, just like I did here. And if you did them like this, that's fine too. You can do it again like this. So now that I've hit the side of the boat, I'm gonna skip through the boat and go over here and keep doing my wavy lines. Remember, these lines don't go through the boat because they're behind the boat. There we go. All right, now let's do another boat, but this time we're gonna make it a little bit smaller. We're gonna make the boat right over here, and we're gonna make it just like we did this one. So I'm going to make a line above the water, just like over here. I'm gonna make it a little bit smaller this time, not as long as this one. And I'm going to, after I make my line, I'm going to connect it down until I hit the water. So let's do that together. Now we should have a line above the water, and we're just gonna go down until we hit the water. Let's do that again over here. Perfect. Now we're gonna make the triangle at the top. These are called sails on a boat. These help the boat move in the water. So I made a dot at the top of my boat, very high up. It's almost at the top of the paper. Yours doesn't have to be this high. And we're gonna make our triangle shape. So from this dot, we're gonna go down until we hit the side of the boat, like that. And we're gonna do it again on this side. So from the dot, we're gonna drag it down until we hit the side of the boat. And for an extra step, kindergarten, you don't have to do this if you don't want to. We're gonna make one more line coming down from the middle. Like that. So now we have 2 boats on our paper. I think we're gonna add one more boat, but this one's gonna be super small, and we're gonna put it over here. First, we're gonna make another wavy line behind both of these boats. So let's do one more line. I'm gonna do my U shapes. And remember, they go behind the boat. So when they hit the side of the boat, we're gonna skip through and we're gonna go to the other side of the boat. We don't want our wavy lines on top of the boat. So when I hit the boat, I stop and I go to the other side. Now let's make our really tiny boat. This is gonna be super little. So we're gonna make a line again. It's gonna be pretty close to the top of the water. So here's my line. It's a little bit slanted. You know what? Let me fix it while you guys are drawing. There we go. And now we're gonna make the lines going down until we hit the water. So I did this one first, and now I'm gonna do this one on the left side. Now we're gonna make the sail, so the top part of the boat. I'm gonna make a dot. That's gonna be the top of my triangle shape. And from this dot, just like we did for the other 2, we're gonna drag it down to the corner. And again, from this dot, we're gonna drag it down to the corner. So we're really practicing our lines here. Finally, if you want to, you can add the last line going down. Now we have 3 boats, big, medium, and tiny. Let's add a few more details because I don't want to leave the sky just like this. We're gonna be coloring this in, and the sky is blue and so is the water. That's a lot of blue, right? So let's add some clouds in the sky. Clouds are white, so it'll give us something that is a different color in the sky. The way we're going to do clouds in the sky is we're gonna make little fluffy balls that kind of look like C shapes going in a circle. So we're gonna start with a little bump like this. And you can put these anywhere. It doesn't have to be right here. And we're just gonna keep doing bumps like this. So see, I'm turning them so that they're not all going the same way. And I'm gonna keep making bumps. And now from here to here, I gotta close it. So there's my tiny cloud. It's actually pretty big if you look at how small this boat is. And we're gonna make some more clouds. And you can put these anywhere you want. I'm gonna put one over here, but I'm gonna leave this space without a cloud because I wanna put the sun there. So I'm gonna make another cloud over here. And again, they're just bumps. You can make them however you want. Finally, I'm gonna put one more, maybe right here, just coming right off the paper. So I'm just gonna put a few bumps here at the top, but you could put more wherever you want. Now I'm gonna put my sun over here. Now, one way to do a sun is to put it all the way in the corner and make it look like this. So it's like a corner sun. You can do that if you want, and that's perfectly fine. And then you can put rays of light coming out, so little lines, and that's fine. Or you can put a circle in the sky. So just to show you, you can do a big circle in the sky, like that. And both of those ways are correct to do a sun, okay? Since I already did this circle, I'm just gonna go ahead and leave my circle here. It's not perfect, but art is not about being perfect, so that's okay if you made a couple of mistakes, because everybody makes mistakes. I'm actually gonna leave mine like this and I'll fix it later when I outline. Okay, I think we're ready to outline and color in. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, scholars, here is my finished artwork. This is my seascape. As you can see, I chose to color the different sections of the water from light blue all the way to dark blue. If you only have one blue though, that's okay to do it all the same color. I decided after I was coloring that I was going to add a little area right here on the sails that you can see through. This is more something that you could do later on, like after you've drawn one of these many times, but I thought it looked pretty cute, so I left it the way that it was. All right, now it's time for me to see what you guys were drawing. All right, 3rd through 6th grade, we're going to be drawing a seascape together. Now, a seascape is any drawing that you do or painting where you are focusing on water or the sea. Here we're going to be drawing the sea, some rocks, and a lighthouse. Now, if you've never seen a lighthouse before, they are tall buildings, kind of skinny, that have a light at the top. And these lights are actually used to help ships get around the sea. Usually something is around there like shallow water or rocks that if there was no lighthouse, they might not be able to see as they go by. All right, so let's go ahead and begin. The first thing we're gonna do is make sure that our paper is horizontal. That means long way going like this, not like this. Now that we have our paper in the correct position, we're gonna begin by doing the stuff that's in the front of the paper. So that would be anything that is closest to the person viewing our picture, which is us. We're gonna start with our lighthouse and we're gonna put it right over here. So somewhere over here, and we're gonna make it pretty big because it's in the front. That means it's in the foreground. Now, when we were learning about foreground, middle ground, and background, we learned that the stuff that goes in the front is always bigger than everything that is behind it. So to make our lighthouse, we're going to be making 2 lines going up and then kind of like a domed top. Let's see. If you have like a lined piece of paper or something that you can use to make a straight line, like a ruler, you can use that. I'm just going to make them by hand. Okay, so let's see. Not the best line I've done, but pretty good. Let me fix this one part. Okay, now we're gonna do the other side of our lighthouse. Now, if you would rather use a different shape, that's fine with me. Any sort of long, skinny building is fine. Mine is a little bit bigger at the bottom than it is at the top. So you can see the lines are getting a little bit skinnier. So you can see both of my lines go all the way down to the bottom of the paper. And there's some space at the top. Here is where we're gonna put our dome top. So to do that, we're just gonna make an arch going from here to here. So it's gonna look something like this. There we go. Now we can add any other details that we want inside to make it look more like a lighthouse. Now, of course, I will be showing pictures throughout the video of lighthouses. I am going to draw some lines on here. I turned my paper to the side, but you don't have to. I'm just gonna make some curved lines like this. So see, it looks a little bit like a happy face. Just a little bit curved, not that much. I'm gonna do the same thing up here. So these lines can go pretty much anywhere, and you can make them go all the way down the paper if you want. You can make as many as you want. So I have 3 so far, and I can keep going. If you don't want this many lines, you don't have to make this many lines on your lighthouse. Now, to add some more details, I am going to put some what looks like upside down U's here to make it look like you can see inside. So these would be like maybe windows. There's one. Now I'm gonna put one coming out of the side, or if you want, you could just put two side by side. There we go. Just a little extra detail, but you don't have to do that if you don't want to. Now, of course, at the top of the lighthouse is supposed to be where the light is. You can either make the lights coming out of this dome, so like you could put like a little, I don't know, let's say a bump coming out of here, and that would be the shining light. Or you can put something at the top of your dome, which is what I'm going to do. So to do that, I'm just going to put a little stick coming out of the top, and then another little stick, so 2 lines. And I'm going to close them off at the top. And then I'm going to draw 2 things coming out of the side, kind of looking like they're 2 lights and they're turning. So to do that, I'm just going to make 2 lines coming out of this side, 2 lines coming out of this side, and then I'm going to put an oval there. So to do that, I'm just going to literally put an oval like that and like that. And although it doesn't look exactly like lights, you could add some shiny lines coming out of it to make it look more like lights. Now again, there's so many different kinds of lighthouses. They don't all have the light at the very top, and they definitely don't all look like this one. So it is up to you how you make your lighthouse, and you can add as many windows on your lighthouse as you want. Let's go ahead and continue. So like I said, this is going to be a seascape. That means we are definitely going to have water in our picture. But before we do the water, we're going to add some rocks coming out from here, because of course, this lighthouse can't be in the middle of the sea. It's got to be on land. So to do that, I'm just going to make a bumpy line going up and then coming over like this. So it's just going to go this way. So starting from the bottom of the paper, I'm just going to make a wobbly line. Now remember, these are rocks, so they don't have to be perfect. You can make them look like a straight line, but it's not going to look as realistic. And now I'm going to go behind. Remember, when we do something behind the foreground, we don't draw the line through it. And now I'm just going to go like this until I get to the left side of the paper. And that's going to be my rock. Now, of course, you can make it smaller. You can make it down here if you want. You can make it higher, going down. It's up to you. Let's go ahead and add the water now. So I'm going to draw the horizon line. That's going to separate the area that's going to be the ocean from the sky. So now you can put the line down here, up here. It's up to you. I'm going to put it closer to the bottom of the paper or somewhere in the middle. I like to turn my paper when I do this. And I'm just going to make a straight line from the edge of the paper all the way till I hit either the rock or my lighthouse. I happened to hit the rock because it was there. All right, now let's continue. We are gonna make a couple of little rocks back here, like there's another piece of land coming up from the back, okay? So this is going to be the middle ground. That means everything that's in the middle of our picture. So I'm gonna do just a couple of bumps over the horizon line. They don't have to look like mine. I'm just putting little bumps that are kind of jagged looking. And now I'm gonna do one more like that. So it just looks like 3. Kind of looks like bushes actually. And And I'm gonna make one more piece of land. So these are 3 rocks. And from somewhere around here, I wanna leave space over here because I'm gonna add a boat. So right around here, I'm just gonna go up and go all the way to the edge of the paper. So this is gonna be like a piece of land, and these are some rocks. Now we have all this area for the water, and then we have a small area here where I'm just gonna put a tiny little boat. You do not have to do this boat if you do not want to, but considering that this is a seascape and boats are in the sea, I'm gonna add it. So here we go. The way that we're going to do this is I'm gonna add a little parentheses line right here, or a curved line you can say. And then I'm gonna add another kind of like a straight line here, but it's going diagonal. This is going to be the wooden part of the boat. And now I'm going to turn my paper and make a line going straight down, connecting here to here. Like that. So that's going to be the bottom part of the boat. Now I have to make the sails. To do that, I'm going to make a stick coming out of the top. So a straight line coming from the middle of the boat. Like so. And I'm going to make a half triangle on this side. So to do that, I'm just going to come down like I'm making a triangle. And then from here, I'm just going to close it. So I'm going to go from here and hit the line that we first did. Okay. And some boats actually look like that, so you could really leave it like that. But of course, Miss Jasnica likes to add details, so I'm going to add some more. I'm going to do another line coming here, going down. But this time, instead of making a straight line coming over, I'm going to make it a little bit curved, like that. So it looks like the wind is pushing it. But it's far away, so you don't have to make it exactly like that. Now, if this boat was a little too difficult for you, I will show you another way to make the boat. And this is the way that kindergarten through 2nd grade did it. But if it's easier for you, you are more than welcome to make it the same way. So here is our water, which was straight. You can, of course, make it wavy. It's up to you. And what we're going to do is we're going to make 2 lines coming out diagonally. This is going to be the size of the ship, so if you want the ship to be really long, you make them far apart. And if you want it to be really tiny, you make them close together. So here are my 2 diagonal lines. This is the bottom of the ship. And then we're going to make a straight line going across. I went too far. There we go. That's the bottom of the ship. And now we have to make the sail. The easiest way to make the sail is to skip up and make a dot so that you know where you are going to put the top of the triangle shape. And from this dot, we're just gonna make a line connecting to this corner and a line connecting to this corner. Boom. Boom. Well, I didn't go all the way to the corner, but close enough. And then one more line right in the middle coming down until you hit the ship. That's it. And again, this looks just like a boat. Any drawing that I've seen of a boat. So that's perfectly fine, just like that. So again, you're making 2 diagonal lines. Now, of course, if you would prefer, you can make them straight up and make your boat look kind of like a square, like this. You make a dot, and you make 2 lines coming down like you're making a house or something. There you go. And there's our other boat. Okay? And you can make more than 1 if you have more space. I could have made 2, but this is fine. Now let's add the sun in the sky, or the moon if you want it to be nighttime in your picture. I'm going to make a big circle right in the middle. You could put it over here. That would look cool. And there's definitely a lot of space over here, but I want mine in the middle. So to do that, I'm just going to make a circle right in the middle. And this circle's even bigger than my boat. And that's because even though this is the background, so this is the farthest part away from the person looking at the picture, this moon is definitely bigger than a boat, right? We know that the moon is much larger than the size of a boat. That would be super weird if moons were itty bitty and could be the size of like a boat. Anyway, now we can add any final details that we want. So again, you could add more, lines here on our, on our lighthouse. You can add another boat. I'm going to add a whale's tail coming out of the water. Miss Jasnica, why? Why not? I want a whale in my picture, but I don't want to draw the whole whale because that's a lot of work. So I'm going to draw the tail of a whale. The tail of a whale. Yes. Now I'm a rapper. All right, so down here, what I'm gonna do is 2 curved lines. Actually, let me make the part that looks like waves. So, there we go. Just make a couple waves in my water. You don't have to do this if you don't want to. There we go. So now I have waves. I'm gonna make a curved line coming out. Kind of looks like a parentheses. And then I'm going to make another one coming out. And you can see it's fatter down here and then it gets really thin up here. So this is gonna be part of the whale, and now we gotta make the tail. To do that, I'm gonna make 2 lines coming out from here. And again, this is a step you don't have to do, but Miss Jasnica likes to add details. So see, I made 2 more curved lines coming out. And now we're just going to make the shape of the tail. First, I'm going to show you the hard way, then I'll show you an easier way. So here's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to curve the 2 corners, or the 2 tips, down. And since whales' tails aren't perfect, I'm going to wiggle it a little bit, come down, and wiggle it, and come down. And there's my whale tail. If that was kind of hard for you, I understand. This is a shape that doesn't exist. It's an organic shape. So another way you could do it, let's say here is the wave that it's coming out from. You can make 2 lines coming up that kind of look like a fin. Actually, you could do a shark in your water right there. Bam, done. And then from here, we're going to make kind of like a flattened U shape, and see how it's kind of hitting that one part right there. And from here, we're just gonna make 2 leaves. So 2 leaf shapes. Leaves. 1 and 2. So that can also be the fin of your whale, or a dolphin, or whatever other animal you want in your water. It still looks similar to the shape that I made, but it is much easier. So upside down V, or triangle looking shape, then make this flattened U shape, or you can say it looks like a happy face. And then we're gonna make 2 leaves out of it. All right, let's go back to our picture. Now you can add any final details. I'm gonna add a couple of clouds in the sky so that it's not so, I don't know, boring looking up there. You don't have to do this if you don't want to. You can color if you are ready to. I am going to use letter J's. See, these look like letter J's. And I'm just gonna make these bumps coming off the page. Like so. And I'm gonna do another one over here. And you can even do one covering the sun if you want. Actually, that's a fantastic idea. So that's exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put a bump here, and I'm just gonna keep putting bumps. There we go. And now I have another cloud there. And I guess I'll put one behind this rock over here. So again, I'm gonna turn my paper, but you don't have to. And I'm gonna make some bumps over here. Ta-da! All right, now I think we're ready to outline and color in. Let's get started. All right, scholars, here is my finished artwork. As you can see, I colored in everything except the clouds that are supposed to be white. And I decided to leave part of this lighthouse white. And I added some gray for shadows. All right, now it's time for me to see what you guys were working on.